All right, Accounting 2s, welcome to 3-1 Work Together. Just as a friendly reminder with our new, in our advanced app layout, we want to make sure that we always view our instructions and make sure we read those so we know what exactly we're doing. So it says, Coastline Flooring's partial payroll register for the pay period ending July 3rd is to be paid on July 7th, and a blank earnings record form are given to us. We're going to use the appropriate withholding tax tables shown in this lesson to determine the federal income tax. Deductions for all employees are 5% of total earnings for state income, 6.2% for Social Security, 1.45% for Medicare, and we will go through the examples together. So it says the first thing we're going to do is prepare a commissions record for Nigella K. Panuska, employee number 12, and carpet department manager for June of the current year. Nigella's biweekly salary of $1,200 is assigned to the carpet department. She also receives a monthly commission of 4% of carpet net sales and 2% of tile sales. Commissions for the previous month are paid in the first pay period of the current month. Accounting records for the month ended June 30th of the current year are as follows. So we're going to need that information as we go ahead and prepare our commissions record. So I'm just going to minimize this quick. And you can see here our commissions record. So the first thing that we need to do is fill in some information here. So if you remember, our employee was employee number 12. And then our employee's name, we might have to pop it back open to make sure we spell this correctly. We don't want to spell her name wrong. Miguela. Oh, look at that. They even have where we can choose. Awesome. Okay, so the pay period ended on July 3rd. Again, that information was in the paragraph we just read. And her biweekly salary was $1,200. Remember that she is in carpet and her position is the department manager. Again, all of that information came from this little section, so we just want to make sure that we have that read thoroughly. So here what I'm going to do is I'm maybe going to do a split screen. Hang on here. Split screen. So we have both of this information up at the same time. Okay, so we're going to plug in our sales on account for carpet, which, as we can see here, was $6,148.19. And for tile was $1,706.22. Cash and credit card sales were $2,491.96 in carpet, and tile was $288.02 and 3 cents. Okay. So that's going to equal our total sales for the month. So we want to make sure that we add these two numbers together. So we get $86.40 and 15 cents, $8,640.15 for carpet, and tile was $4,588.25. So we have figured out our total sales for the month in carpet and tile, but then we have to remember that there are amounts that get returned. So we have sales discounts again coming from these numbers over here for carpet of $104.15. Oops. And for tile is $28.11. Returns and allowances are $321.06 and $418.95. So again, we're going to total these two. So our total deductions for carpet are going to be $425 and 21 cents, and tile is going to be $447 and 6 cents. Then we figure out what our net sales are. So actually, I can minimize this now and go back here. Our net sales are going to be the $8,640 minus the $425. So when we do that, our net sales are for carpet $8,214.94. Same thing with tile. We take our total sales and subtract out our total reductions, and we get $4,141.19. Then we have to remember what her commissions rate were, or is, I should say. If you look here, it says her commissions rate is 4% on carpet and 2% on tile. So 4% and 2%. So then all we do is take 4% of the 8,000 and we end up with $328.60. and 2% of the 4,100, and we get $82.82, which means her total commission, those two added together, is $411.42. So that's how we do a commissions report. We haven't ever had to do one before. It's relatively simple. You just have to make sure that you get the correct information off of there. So next up, let's go back and maybe read our instructions too. So that's going to be important. So it says, we're going to prepare the payroll register entries for the following two employees. On line 5, we're going to do Nagella. So we'll do that one first, making sure that we get everything in the right spot. So I'm going to do a split screen again. And here is our payroll register. It says note that we type the last name of the employee first. So remember, some of the information might be up in this paragraph about Nagella. So let's just see what we have here. So she was employee number 12, and then we put her last name first. And it says that her marital status, she's married, so we put an M for married, and she has 2 allowances. So we plug 2 in there. And then we need to figure out her earnings. So her earnings are her regular hour earnings, which if you remember up here was $1,200. So we put $1,200 in there. It doesn't appear that she had any overtime. So we want to use her commission that gets calculated in instruction 1, which remember up here was $411.42. So we add that in here. And then what we do is we add those two together, and that's going to be her total earnings for the period. So when we do that, total earnings here, $1,611.42. Okay. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay. Okay, this next little section is kind of tricky because they want to figure out how much of Nagella's salary was for the carpet department and how much was for tile. So what we need to recognize here is that where it says that her biweekly salary of $1,200 is assigned to the carpet department. So of the 1611, 1,200 is going to go to carpet, but then also remember that up here on her commissions record, she made $328.60 also off of the carpet department. So we have to add those two together, the 1,200 for her weekly salary or biweekly salary and that commission up there equals a total for the carpet department of $1,528.60. The remaining amount, which is just this $82.82, comes from the tile department. So we're going to plug 82 in there. And when you add those two together, those two should equal her total earnings. If they don't, we have an issue, but they do, so we're okay. She doesn't have any admin salary whatsoever, so we skip over that part. And that brings us to figuring out her federal income tax. Now, again, if you remember what it says here, that we are going to need I know you can't see all of this, I'm sorry. That we are going to need to use the appropriate withholding tax tables. They're on page 70 and 71 in your book. And so I'm going to look up the federal income tax based on the fact that her total earnings were $1,611 and 42 cents. Can you look that up in the tax table? And if you need help doing that, please let me know. When you do that, you'll find that her tax is $114 for federal. Okay, so that's where that's coming from. Then we need to figure out her state income tax. Let's see what they say about state income tax up here. Deductions from employees of 5% of total earnings for state income tax. So for total earnings, remember, we're $1,611.42. We take that times 5%, and we end up with an amount of $80.57. And then we're just going to continue to use that number, that $1,611.42. And to find our Social Security, we take that times 6.2%. And when we do that, we get a total of $99.91. Again, make sure when you're doing this that you're rounding correctly, because that would be not so good. And then lastly, for Medicare, we take this 1611.42 and times that by 0.145 or 1.45%, and we end up with a total of $23.37, again, when you're rounding correctly. Next up, we need to put in our health insurance premium, which it says for her is $60. So we plug in $60. Her retirement plan says she contributes $100, so we plug in our $100. And then what we need to do is total. And this is our total for deductions. So where we're going to start is at her federal income tax. So we take 114 plus 80.57, 99.91, 23.37, 60, 100, and we add all of those numbers together as we come across here. And the total for Nigella then is $477.85. And then lastly, what we need to do is figure out her net pay. So her net pay, of course, remember, is that we take her total earnings, which is 1611.42, and we subtract out the total deductions, the number we just found, the 477.85, and we end up with a total net pay for her of $1,133.57. And that is the payroll register line for Nigella. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Let's see if we can squeeze Andrew in here. We'll see. We might run out of time for him, but that's okay. We can come back and finish. So Andrew is next. Andrew T. Weber. He's employee number 8. So we plug employee number 8 in, and we type in his name, Weber Andrew. And it says that he is, that he is single, and his allowance rate is 1. So here it says that he has regular salary of $16 per hour with overtime paid at 1.5 times the regular rate. He worked 80 hours of regular time. So we take 80. We have pay for him of $1,280 or $1,280. But then we also need to figure out his overtime. So overtime, remember, it says he worked 6 hours. And he had $144 in overtime. Okay, see how that works? Andrew, it says, does not have any commission records, so we don't have to worry about that. And so his total earnings then are simply taking his regular plus his overtime, which is going to give us a total of $1,424. Okay. Then we need to decide how much of that goes to carpet and how much of it goes to tile. Well, it says that Andrew, he works as a tile department clerk. So all of his $1,424 is going to go to tile. So we just plug $1,424 in the tile, and we scooch right on over. So he doesn't have anything in admin, so we go right over that and go to figuring out his federal income tax again. So again, remember, you're going to have to use the tax table. Make sure you use the one that is for single, because when you do this, which means that his tax rate is $2. Definitely pays to be married, doesn't it? In that regard. Okay, next up we need to take our $1,424 and times it by the 5% for our state tax. When we do that, we get $71.20 for Andrew. We'll scooch over and do our Social Security, which is 6.2% again. That's $88.21. Medicare is $20.65. It says Andrew's health insurance is $50 and he contributes $60 to his retirement plan. Okay. I'm going to pause here because I'm going to run out of time. I will meet you back over in our part 2 video for work together.